Caroline, founder of Equitopia. While the balance of the horse is of vital importance, we must not forget that rider posture also plays a key influencing role in this equation. In this, the first of 5 parts addressing this subject matter, we speak with Wendy Murdoch, who talks about the concept of heels down and how it affects rider posture.
Hi, my name is Wendy Murdoch, and I've been teaching riding for over 30 years. I've trained with some really amazing people like Sally Swift and Linda Tellington Jones, but I also have a background in science, and I use that science when I teach riding. When I do clinics, there's some really common things that I see that riders do that I think we need to understand a little bit better. We talk about these as the myths of riding, and probably one of the biggest ones that I see is heels down. Most people, when they do heels down, try to brace their foot against the stirrup, and they wind up pushing their foot forward. And this makes the rider more unstable. So the idea of heels down seems to have been a bit distorted from what the original intention was. When I was riding back in the 70s, what we were looking for was weight in the heels without pressure. And somewhere it seems around the 80s, this idea got changed to being brace your foot down against the stirrup. So people try to shove their heel down or push their heel down or pull their toe up. And it all has the same effect of putting too much pressure on the stirrup, which puts pressure on the stirrup bar and therefore pressure on the horse's back where the stirrup bar is on the saddle. And so that's going to cause the horse to drop his back rather than lift it. What I'm looking for is weight in the heels without pressure. When the heel is braced forward, the foot swings forward and the rider's head has to come forward, and now we've put the weight on the forehand. And then of course the instructor yells for you to sit up. And so then you try to throw the upper body weight back, but you still have this restriction here, this brace, which is putting pressure on the horse's back, putting him on the forehand, causes you to go forward, and also you're going to want your head over your foot. But when we find the weight in the heel, now my heel sinks back and down, my head's over my feet, and I have this nice big base of support, and I'm in a good balance. So Michelle, I notice you're riding in a Western saddle, which is great, but one of the common problems I see with a Western saddle is that the stirrup is angled. And so this makes it really hard for you to get your leg in a good place. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm talking about with this piece of vet wrap that I'm going to use to vet wrap the shim into the stirrup. And here's a flat plane. Okay, so in geometry, here's your flat plane laying next to your horse. But the minute we twist the stirrup into position, you can see how the inside edge gets lower than the outside edge.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that what happens is your foot's now angled on the stirrup. So either you have to angle your foot like this to get a whole contact across the base, or what a lot of other people do is they wind up rolling the ankle and just having pressure on the outside edge. There's a really simple solution, and that's where I came up with these shims. You can see it's thicker on one side than the other. Okay, just take your foot out of the stirrup. I'm going to place the shim into the stirrup, and I'm going to use a piece of vet wrap to just hold it in place for now. You can always have a leather cap on your stirrup to keep it in place rather than vet wrap, but we're just doing this quickly here. And that's going to raise the inside edge, which is currently lower, so that we give you more of a flat platform for your foot.
Well, yeah, I notice when I ride, I see in the mirrors a bit of daylight on
Right.
the inside of my foot.
Right.
Yes.
And what we really want is that contact across the whole foot.
My foot does feel more level
Yeah.
in the stirrup.
So you'd never build a building on an angled surface. You always want to start with a level platform. And so that's what we've done with the shim. I've put the fatter side toward the horse, filling in that gap so that now her foot is on a level surface. So a lot of people think the alignment is ear, shoulder, hip, heel. But I'm looking for the joints, which would be atlanto-occipital joint, shoulder joint, hip joint, and ankle joint. And right now we're at the back of the heel, and you can feel how this has pushed the whole leg forward.
Yes.
So now there's pressure on the knee because you're bracing against the stirrup. Newton's third law, for every action there's an equal opposite reaction. So the harder you push on the stirrup, the harder it's pushing back on you, and that pressure is going to go up into your knee, into your hips, into your back.
I can already feel it going up through here.
Yeah, right into your back. So again, this is going to cause problems in bracing against the horse. And you'll notice that your heel is now going toward the horse's front foot. So I'm going to use these 2 lunge whips to demonstrate the base of support. And with your heel in that position, if I draw a line off the line of the thigh, and I draw a line off the line of the calf, you can see how this triangle is moved forward, okay? And so the heel is going toward the horse's front foot every stride, so her base of support keeps shifting forward, causing the rider to fall back into the saddle instead of being able to stay balanced over her horse in the rise. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a change with your foot. So I'm going to put your foot back in the stirrup. And if you think about your heel going to the horse's back foot, you can feel how the heel is going to sink down relative to the toe, but now your leg is coming back and your head is over your feet. And now we can see here's the forward line going to the ground, and here's the back line, and it's going all the way to the horse's back feet. So if you think about your heel going to the horse's back foot, notice how that softens your knee, softens the ankle, softens the hip, relaxes the back. Okay? And now notice that you don't have to put nearly as much pressure against the stirrup.
No, I don't.
Great. Heels toward the back feet. But feel how your horse changed when your heels go to the back feet.
Yeah, he wants to go forward now.
Correct. With dressage saddles or English saddles, the stirrup leather is thinner, so we don't have the problem with the angle that's caused by the wide Western stirrup leather. But here we can see that the stirrup leather has clearly swung forward, so we know that Laura's putting too much pressure against the stirrup, and it's driving her heel forward down toward the horse's front foot. And that means you're going to have to pitch forward when you go to rise the trot, or especially in canter, that's where it really shows up. So what we're going to do is just take your leg out of the stirrup for a second, just let your leg hang. Okay, and now think about pressing your heel toward my belly, just a little. There you go. And feel how you lengthened all the way from the hip? That was really nice. So the thigh got longer and the heel moved toward the horse's back foot. So in a dressage saddle, you're riding quite long. The heel doesn't have to be very deep, right? It just has to be that the heel is sinking below the level of the toe. We have to just allow the heel to sink. Very nice. And see, now we have 3 movable joints, which the horse can then move as he's moving. So here, jam your heels again. And as you cross the center line, heels to the back feet. Yeah, totally changed, didn't it? So when you're riding, if you think about sending your heels toward the horse's back foot, that's going to let the ankle absorb motion, sink the heel down, take it toward the back, and increase your base of support, allowing your upper body to come back and be over your foot. When we push the foot forward, the lower leg swings forward and the upper body is going to have to come forward, especially in rising trot and canter. So thinking of the heel simply sinking to the back foot is going to bring you back into balance.
We hope you received some valuable tips for your riding in this video. Parts 2 through 5 are available free to members. You can become a member by going to our website at equitopiacenter.com.